Hi, this is Graphically Alex coming at you with all things fat related. If that's something that interests you, please subscribe. I'd love to have you. So, I want to go ahead and go through some of William's TikToks. I've been trying to film this, but I've been struggling too. I think there's just honestly something about William's personality that really bothers me, which I feel like a lot of you guys may relate to, but it's difficult for me to listen to him, honestly. So I'm going to go ahead and just play it, and we're just going to face it, and I'm just going to film it, and if it's bad, then I guess it's bad. I don't know what to say. So I'm going to see
I
it
love
here.
it when people compliment me on my weight loss. It makes me feel so good. Have you considered how you're going to feel when you gain it back?
When I would just be like, if somebody said that, that is so rude. It's like horrifically rude. Oh, I don't know if my internet is being weird.
Back? When? Sorry, I'm not gaining it back. Sorry, I can say if you prefer, because you're right, there's a chance that you don't. Exactly. But your chances are really low, according to over half a century of peer-reviewed research that suggests that your chances of being able to maintain your weight loss are between 3 and 5%. Wait, is that real? Yeah, and on top of that, our bodies fight weight loss as a survival mechanism, so your metabolic rate will likely go down.
It depends on how you're doing it. So they say this a lot, but honestly, it depends on how you're doing it. Like, if you go into a really, really harsh deficit for a very long time, yeah. If you're doing extended fasting, yes. If you're cutting out entire food groups, yes. If you're doing any of that stuff, then yeah, it absolutely can slow your metabolism, but you can recover it if you take care of your body. You give your body what you need. I think a lot of people don't even consider nutrition. I think they think about like, oh, I'm having enough vegetables and chicken today, so I'm fine. And it's like, no, like there's a lot of vitamins and minerals, not just protein and vegetables, potassium or whatever that's in the vegetables. There's a lot of stuff. There's a lot of different vitamins. I think it's important to acknowledge all the different vitamins and make sure that you're getting a pretty good variety and balance every single day. Like, I think a lot of people do not reflect on nutrition. If you are not eating a nutritious diet, you will have a slower metabolism because our metabolism is based pretty much on vitamins and minerals, building blocks, etc. So if you're not giving yourself that, then you will have problems. Absolutely. And I think most diets promote that, but people don't acknowledge that, and they just, you'll find that the people that tend to sustainably lose the weight, they're people who are eating a lot of different nutrition, like a lot of nutrients, and people who are willing to go slower, people who care more about their health and how they look. Those kind of people tend to do better because health is the goal, and it should always be the goal when it comes to weight loss. If you do want to get like a last few pounds down or whatever, you would just barely change your diet and just eat a little bit less, or exercise a little bit more. That's about it. But anyways,
Bodies fight weight loss as a survival mechanism, so your metabolic rate will likely go down and your natural set point will go up.
so this is totally false. So I have had the exact opposite experience because, again, I focus a lot on thyroid health, which thyroid health is metabolic health. I'm still in recovery of hypothyroidism for sure, but I've made a lot of progress. And so I'm always keeping my metabolism in mind, and I'm doing my best to keep it going and to try to speed it up or keep things moving as I lose the weight. And basically, my set point, it has not gone up. whatsoever since I've done a pro-thyroid weight loss. It has not. If anything, it's gone down. It's not true. So as you guys who have been watching my channel for a while, you've known, but I cover set point theory quite a bit, usually every winter going into spring, because set point theory is usually seasonal. It has to do with the winter. And a lot of times people will try to lose weight in the winter. It's one of the worst times to try to lose weight. This time in the spring is actually the best time to start. It's actually right now, because the seasonal factors, they help you. The wind will be at your back. It's easier. You get more and more adherence throughout this time. So I think it's just very frustrating to hear the lie of set point theory be brought up, and I just think people tend to think about it in terms of 1 year. You should always think about it year over year, especially from a huge size. Think about, how do I feel this year versus last year? How much do I weigh this year versus last year? Those are good questions to ask yourself every single year, because you will feel better likely. So it's like, your weight does fluctuate throughout the year. It just does. And people oftentimes don't like to hear that, or they get really upset when I say that for some reason. But especially from a super morbidly obese perspective, it's very common. So you should not give up. If your weight goes up in the winter, you shouldn't. It's going to come back down if you continue. It's so, oh gosh, it's such a lie. It's such a lie. It's so annoying.
Which means over a period of 5 years, you will gain back all of the weight, or more, as 2/3 of people do. Aren't you?
So basically, I know a lot of people that have kept weight off for a very long time. My best friend Eric, you guys have seen him on the channel. He was fat. He was like a small fat. He was like 240 or so. And he lost around 40 pounds, and he has kept it off for almost a decade. If you guys have kept weight off for like a decade, comment down below. I want any fat person who's watching this to see those kind of stories. Have any of you guys kept weight off longer than 5 years? Let's start debunking this narrative, because it's not true. I've already got 2 years pretty much. I'm getting on my 2nd year of weight loss. I have not gone back up all the way, and I certainly have not gone higher. If I went higher, I would have probably gotten to like 400 pounds. I was 383. I'm now like around 295-ish, in that range. The lowest I've weighed in recently was 293, and I've been plateaued for about a month. So that's where I'm at, but that's nowhere near 383, and it's certainly not higher than that. So no. I mean, I think when they say the 5-year thing, it's just a way to like deflect arguments and to try to constantly gaslight about this. But there are plenty of you guys who have kept weight off for over 5 years, so please show me. Tell me.
You saying that like that's or something? Why are you saying that? Pro-fat, 2/3 of people do. Aren't you supposed to be pro-fat people or something? Why are you saying that like that's a problem? Oh, don't be mistaken. I'm pro-fat people. I'm pro any person and any body, actually, and I think we all should be. But this isn't about that. This is about you and the long-term effects that this could have on your mental health. How do you mean that? Well, if you gain the weight back, as 95 to 97% of people do, how are you going to feel when all of the compliments go away? I guess that's...
This is so unhealthy. This is like a... You know what he's giving? He's giving that mom in like Tangled. The mom. The one that's like, mother knows best. That one. That's the energy I'm getting from this. It's very like gaslighter. I'm trying to lock you into being fat vibe. Don't go outside. Don't lose the weight. Like, that's the vibe I'm getting. And I'm like, this is creeping me out. Like, I don't. Let me just put it to you this way. William, if it was me talking to you and not your fake straw man version of yourself, this conversation would go very differently. That's all I can say. I would tell you to stop gaslighting me. That's basically what I would say. Stop gaslighting me and stop projecting your problems onto me. That's what I would say. And I wonder what you would say to that. Gosh, I don't know what is with my thing.
How are you going to feel when all of the compliments go away? I guess that would feel kind of bad. Exactly. Welcoming compliments.
Not everybody loses weight for extrinsic motivation. You guys need to get over that.
Exactly. Welcoming compliments on your weight loss, no matter how it happened, is likely setting you up to feel worse about your body in the future. Way worse than you ever felt about it before you initially lost weight. I never thought about it that way. We all deserve better.
What? Oh my gosh. I never think about things this way. I never do. I honestly, you guys, like, I don't mind if you guys compliment. I don't care at all. Like, I don't think it's a bad thing to compliment. I'm not weird like that. I like compliments as much as the next person, but it's like, I don't do this for the compliments. Like, I don't. I'm doing this because I almost died. And it's like, I didn't want to. And so I'm fighting to be here, kind of thing. And I think when I hear things like this, it just sounds so incredibly shallow to me and so superficial. And I think it's because of that experience of having my health collapse under me. So I think to me, it's like this type of thing doesn't work on me. It's like, I will just tell you guys to always put your health first in terms of weight loss. Like, don't put your appearance first. Don't put what other people say. You don't know what other people are going to say. I mean, that's weird. I think that's weird all around.
We all deserve better than participation in social anti-fatness. Be a part of the solution and not a complicit or active part of the problem. I love it when people compliment me.
Okay, that's really weird. I'm going to refresh this since my page has been weird, but I think that is so weird. Gosh. Okay, I think we're just going to do the one about him not being pretty, but I should do this one. Well, I'm thinking. Sorry, you guys. Okay, we'll do the, okay, let's do this one because I want to show you guys where he's like, you don't know if someone's lying. Okay, well, then I don't know if you're lying, William.
I think it's pretty easy to tell whether someone you know lost weight due to an ED or a healthy manner, LOL. Oh, is it? Please do tell. Well, if you've watched them be goal-oriented and eat healthy and slim down, I think it's okay to compliment those people. Actually, that is not the truth, Ellen. Unless you are actively monitoring what they're eating and how they're exercising and other activities they're engaging in 24/7, you do.
Could you guys imagine dating someone like this? Like, I know that's a really personal and gross question to ask, but I'm sorry. I've been trying to film this video a lot, and I can't listen to him without doing this. I'm sorry. But I want to know, like, have you guys ever dated someone like this? And what do you think it would be like to date someone like that? Because I feel like it would be such a nightmare. Like, could you imagine, like, you're just talking to them and they're just like, do you realize, like, you don't know what you're saying and you don't know this and you don't know about me and you don't know what this is and you don't know that and you don't know anything about that person and what do you know? It's like, how many times are you going to, like, I don't know. I've just been watching, like, where he had a lot of these TikToks where it's like, you don't know what somebody's doing. It's like, okay, sure. But you don't know if somebody's healthy. You don't know if somebody's recovering. You know, for you guys that are on my channel, the proof is in the poofa pudding. I am doing more YouTube. I am more active on YouTube. I haven't had to take a break. I haven't been complaining about how sick I am all the time. I mean, it's pretty obvious. I haven't been arguing as much in my life. I I haven't been having so many of the issues that I had last year. It's crazy. But it's like you don't know. I will tell you, William, you don't know somebody's health problems then. I can say the same thing back to you. You don't know what somebody's health problems are from being overweight because a lot of people lie about that too. People lie about everything. You don't know anything. You don't know. You don't know. You don't know. You don't know, William. Okay.
Do not know how they are losing weight. Yes, I do. How? Because you trust them? Unfortunately, when
You
people
have
aren't
to.
losing weight in a healthy
You have to trust them. What are you going to do? If you know that they have an issue because it's come out, then maybe you don't. But in terms of like, I don't understand, and I will just say this, and maybe this is controversial, and you guys can let me know what you think. But I don't understand this idea that it's somebody else's job to save you from an ED. 9 times out of 10. Oh gosh, I would even say 10 times out of 10. You know it's wrong. You know it's wrong. You know it's damaging your health. You know it isn't good for you. But you lie to yourself, you gaslight yourself, and you'll just keep going. It's like you have to want it to stop. And you have to fight it. That's it. You know, I get sick of the therapy talk around this issue because at the end of the day, you have to want to stop. They're not fun. They're not pleasant experiences. But at the end of the day, nobody can monitor you 24/7. It's not exactly the way it works. And if somebody does not want to stop, then they're going to do it again as soon as they get the chance. So it's like you have to want to stop. Like you have to hold yourself accountable here. I never would have gotten through it if I didn't hold myself accountable. Never. I never would have found a way out if I hadn't been looking. I never would have gotten to the end of fighting it if I hadn't been fighting it. And I had it severely. It took me 5 years to get out. But it was 5 years, oftentimes white knuckling it. White knuckling the ED, not doing it. It's like you get into these ruts in your mind and you have to change it. I don't understand this idea that it's up to somebody else to save you. I just don't. And you guys can let me know what you think. That may be controversial, but that was not my experience whatsoever. That's all I can say. There is not anything that anyone else could have said to get me to stop. There is not anything that anyone else could have done to get me to stop. If I wanted to continue to have BED, then I would still have it, period. No matter what anyone else said.
healthy way, they are not reliable narrators on how they are losing weight. And that's the
So
best.
are you a reliable narrator on how you're gaining weight, William? Are you a reliable narrator when it comes to your recovery? Like, what are you saying? You're saying we shouldn't trust anybody then. So what if I don't trust what you say then? Since you're the exact person that you're saying would lie about it, doesn't that apply to you too? How would we know that you're not having an issue anymore? So I showed on my channel when I talked about my BED, when I did that Taylor Swift short, which it's a short on here if you guys haven't seen it, I showed my whole journey and I said at the end that it's demonstrably in remission. Why is that? Because my weight has gone down and it's stabilized. It's not going up and down drastically. It's going down. Towards the winter, I would swell. But it was something I told you guys all year. So when it happened, none of you guys were shocked. Then the winter ended. I got back down to my lowest weight by the end of the winter. That was great. That was huge hypo progress from last year. It was so much better. And then I told you guys I'm having a plateau. The plateau started as soon as I went to the gym, which just meant that I was putting on muscle, losing fat at the same time because my weight is staying the same. That's demonstrable. I can show you guys. But at the end of the day, I have to hold myself accountable. You know? And if set point theory is going to come for me, then why hasn't it yet? Did it forget about me? And he would probably say, oh, no, it's because you're the exception. Honey, I'm not the exception. I struggled with this for 10 years. I was trying to lose weight since 2012. I am not the exception. I will never have somebody tell me that. No way. It's because I focused on my thyroid problem and it started to get better. I focused on my ED. I got rid of it and it started to get better. It's like you have to deal with the actual issue, whether it's mental or physical. You have to deal with it. And then it actually ends. And I'm not convinced that William's weight is going all over the place, it seems like. It just seems weird to me.
Information you're getting on whether they're doing all right or not. Okay, but if they were my partner, for example, surely I'd know. We're sleeping in the same bed. Yeah, emphasis on the sleeping part. You don't know what they do while you're asleep. I mean, would they really lie to me? Well, people who struggle with eating are usually secretive about it due to unnecessary...
Yeah, so it's just weird to me because it's like, wouldn't this apply to you? I don't know. It's like, are you lying to me now? You see, it's like if you follow his logic, it's like, well, is it possible that you're lying right now, William? Everybody's a liar, you guys. Don't trust anybody. I know he's a Swiftie. I don't trust nobody and nobody trusts me. It's like, I wonder why, William. I wonder why. I don't trust you. It's like you're paranoid. That's a paranoia.
Shame. Wow, okay, I guess you're right. No compliments on weight loss.
No, you're wrong. I'm going to say what I want when I want to say it. I don't comment on everybody's weight all the time because I don't know. You know, it's whatever. But when people tell me, oh my gosh, you've lost weight or you look like you've lost weight, it's like, it doesn't bother me at all. Like, I'm clearly on a weight loss journey. I clearly need to lose weight. I clearly have had success at losing weight. It's not any issue whatsoever. I've plateaued, but I still feel like my body's changing in positive ways, like especially here, you know, and then in my arms and legs and where my liver is, it's gone down a bit. So it's like I still see these different aspects changing and my body's changing. Like I was looking at my hands and my hands look thinner. It's like weird, but it's like I'm still plateaued. You know what I'm saying? But I don't worry about it because I don't care about a number on the scale. Like, that's not what it's about. It's about my health. And my health is improving drastically. I'm doing so much better. So it's like, I don't know. It's just weird. I would not care. You guys can compliment me all you want.
Trust me, I am. There's no reason for you to comment on anybody's weight ever. We all need to unlearn that nagging...
That's not true. Sometimes you need to hold somebody accountable. But I don't know if we need to say it to random strangers all the time. Like, I don't know if that's really the move, but loved ones and stuff, like, it's something to talk about for sure.
Part of us that is like, oh.
I just personally, I try not to say as much until I've completely gotten down and like can demonstrably show that I figured it out in that sense. I wouldn't be saying that to everybody. That's why I tend not to, I do give some weight loss advice, but I tend to give weight loss advice to people who are bigger than me or people who were bigger than me because it's more demonstrable. Because I don't know everything yet, and I'm okay with that. And I don't know, like, what it will be like at the rest of the journey. I just know about SMO to here, which I think is a huge thing. That's a very big accomplishment, and that's very difficult to get out of. So I try to talk about that aspect a lot because I know some of you guys can be SMO. You can be super morbidly obese, Anyways.
Oh, I must comment on... No, you don't. You just don't. I think it's pretty easy to tell.
Okay, well, then you don't need to comment on anything that you're commenting on. I just think that's stupid. I'm sorry. Okay, so let's see this last one. This one might take a while, but
Trigger warning for the
we're diving in. We're diving in.
Need to talk about it. Pause to read.
He was way prettier when he was skinny in 2021 to 2022. William Horby responds, I was prettier when I was sicker. Thanks. This is so helpful and sweet of you to comment. So I love the passive aggressive, like Viper statement. I prefer my Viper bitches to be direct because I feel like if you have to be like that, then you're too much of a pussy to actually be a bitch, if that makes any sense. I don't know if anybody caught up with that. Maybe I just spoke gay language for a second. But for those of you guys who didn't get it, welcome back. But I will just say I don't like passive aggressive. I don't. I think it's far too bitchified for my taste. And it's very like, to me. It would really irritate me. So I feel like I would get along really great with William. Can't you guys tell? We'd be besties forever, wouldn't we?
And for those of you who are going to feel tempted to go back and check my videos from that time period, I'll save you the time. I've gained weight since...
We know. We know on this channel. We know it.
2021, 2022.
And I've lost weight. How do you like them apples? Gosh, when you believe in fat acceptance rhetoric, I guess you just start gaining weight. And when you don't, then you can lose weight. Isn't that crazy?
I'm not in denial about it. It's a fact of my life. It has happened. I make the kind of recovery content that I once needed because if you don't know somehow, I'm in recovery.
Okay, so my question is does recovery ever end? Because that's what I want to know. Like, how long have you been in recovery? If it's, it took me 5 years. Like, I will admit, it did take a long time. It did. So I'm not going to shade on that level, but it's like, I don't know. Like, he had a restrictive ED. Like, I would say he's probably totally in remission at this point. Unless if he jumped to a different ED because he's gaining weight. So it's like, I don't know. You're still in recovery? Like, are you going to be in recovery if you get up to like 400 pounds? You get what I'm saying? It's confusing to me. When does recovery end? You need to define that.
Started all of this, I was relatively early on in recovery. Time has passed, and I have been in recovery for a while now, and my body has changed. And I think that's fine. Actually, I know it's fine. And even if I were in a larger body than this, and I'm talking as large as you can imagine, it would still be fine.
As large as you can imagine. Do you guys think that William will go the distance? Do you think he'll be as big as I used to be? Do you think there will ever be a moment where I meet him in the middle? I want to know. What do you guys think? Because you know me. I'm the toxic one. I'll make it into a competition. No, I'm just kidding. I mean, it's not really a competition. It's just like, for me, it's like a weird science experiment or like something I'm going to observe. But I'm just wondering, like, what do you guys think? Like, how big do you think he's going to get? Because I don't know if he'll get much bigger than this. Like, I feel like he's talking out of his ass. But we'll see. I guess we'll see. He could prove me wrong. I didn't think he would ever let himself gain weight. but he did. So I was wrong about that.
And it is wild to me that you can come to a recovery page and comment things that imply or directly say otherwise. Like, I'm sorry that I'm not as pretty as I used to be. I wasn't aware.
There are some videos where he looks rougher. I'm not trying to be really bad, but I'm sorry. I have to be real. There are some where he does look worse than this. The lighting is still pretty good in this. But you don't look healthy to me, William, at all. Like, I think people can tell when somebody's health is kind of breaking down. Let me see. We're at 108 here. I think it was like this video.
A lot of men have undiagnosed eating problems.
I don't know what is with his face. It's probably the bad lighting, but it's like, it's just not giving. And I've had, issues like that myself where I look horrible, but I also was near death and, extremely hypo. So I have some pictures where I look really horrible. And I do like to look at them sometimes. But it's like, I don't know. It's just weird to me. Like, some of these, I legit wonder if he has a filter or something. Like, does that look like a filter to you guys? I don't know. It's just weird. But anyways, maybe that was a bitch moment. But like I said, I really don't like him. So it's hard. It's hard for me.
As I used to be, I wasn't aware that it was my job as a recovery educator to look pretty for you. Sorry. I guess I failed.
I don't think he looks horrible in this. I think it's just the personality that's awful and ugly for me personally. I don't know. Like, I do think he used to look better if we're talking about it, I do, but I think he's not ugly or anything at this point. I mean, he doesn't look as good, but still. I mean, you guys can offer your opinion since we're going to talk about it, I guess. But to me, it's just like, I don't know. It's just about the weight gain itself. It's just kind of weird. That's all. But people are like, oh, I guess you believe the rhetoric. That's what people think. I'll just explain it to you, William. That's what people are thinking. They're thinking, oh, I guess he really believes it because he put on the weight. So you really believe that no matter what you eat, it doesn't matter. You really believe that, all this different stuff.
Understand where the cruelty comes from that you want to say mean things in a comment section, especially anonymously. I don't get it. Just don't comment on people's bodies. And look, if you're seeing this, you probably already know that, and you have a well-developed sense of empathy, and I do this for you, and I'm really grateful that we get to share this space together.
You get awards and accolades, William. I mean, it is what it is, but I'm just saying. I think that there's definitely some extrinsic motivation when it comes to this. This is not like a purely altruistic thing for you, in my opinion. Maybe that's bad for me to say. I don't know. I need to stop. I don't know. I guess I'm feeling insecure today. Feeling insecure about how mean I am. And you guys don't care anyway. So I don't know if I should just stop. But I'm having a moment, okay? I'm allowed to be insecure sometimes. I feel it today. But it's like, ugh.
Together online. But just in case you're not one of those people, can you just leave me alone? It's quite literally dangerous. We're talking about the second most fatal mental illness is what I'm recovering from. And fortunately, I'm in a pretty good place, and maybe that makes you think that you can treat me as a punching bag, but
No, I think people just don't like you. Honestly, I think it's the passive aggressiveness. It's the weird facial expressions. Like, there's a lot going on. You're not relatable. People look at you and they think that you're like a weird robot. The style that you do things, I don't know if it's supposed to be theatrical or what, but it's really, really unconvincing, and it is disturbing for some. So you're going to have people comment on it. When you act really, really abnormally, when you act unhinged, people have something to say. Even if you're just abnormal in general, people will say something. Like, I get, not all the time, but I get comments about my voice relatively, often. And I'm not ever surprised by it because I know it's not the norm. So it's like the most common thing I get is like either why do you talk like that? How do you talk like that? These types of things. And the truth is, I'm always talking like this. I talk like this in my dreams. I talk like this when I first wake up in the morning. I'm always talking like this. So the truth is, it's not an act. It's just how I talk, and it's how I've always talked. So, but I'm not going to sit here and be like, oh my gosh, I can't believe somebody's commenting this. It's like, William, I don't know if this is your real personality, but you have to know the way you act is crazy. So people are going to not like you. Okay. So it's not always about punching bag. It's just like, wow, this person acts so abnormal. Like, I don't like this person, or I'm uncomfortable watching this. It's that kind of thing.
What you're doing sucks. And I don't talk about this stuff personally very often. Like, you don't know that I'm in a...
It's just an observation they made. I get that it's kind of a cold one. It's a little harsh. Like, I'm not going to lie. It's not something that I would necessarily say because I don't really think of you that way, William. Like, I don't think about if you're good looking or not because to me, the personality is so off putting and so unattractive that it honestly doesn't matter how you look. You could be the most attractive person, you could be the ugliest person. It doesn't matter because the way you talk and act is so unnerving that I can't even think of you in that way anyways. So it doesn't matter to me personally. But maybe to that person, they were attracted to you before and they're not anymore. And yeah, it can be cold, and yeah, it can be mean, and yeah, it can be all these things, but it's the internet. People are going to say things. It's just the way it is. And I don't know why you're acting shocked. I guess you're trying to like make a point here, and I get that. I think that weight gain can be a part of recovery, that you can typically have it go back off later as your metabolism speeds back up from having proper nutrition. But I just don't know if that's what's happening here. I don't know. And if you're going to talk about your recovery, then you should actually talk about it and talk about what's happening. If you don't want to share it, then don't. Then don't use it. Don't talk about it in your content. It's just so annoying.
Good place. I think some of you really don't realize that the things you say online could cause someone to lose their life. And I don't think getting vulnerable is...
I think if you're in that vulnerable of a state, then you shouldn't be online, honestly. And I think it's up to you. And if you're really incredibly fragile, then it's up to other people in your life. Like, if you're on that level where words on a screen are going to get you to lose your life in one way or another, you shouldn't be online. Like, if you are that early in recovery or whatever, that you can't handle a comment like that, then you shouldn't be online. Honestly, you shouldn't.
is gonna make anyone stop, because for some reason it always just makes it worse. And that's why I don't do it. And I don't know why I'm doing it right now. I guess I'm just
I don't know either. It's not really doing anything for me, but I would just say that I think you were doing all this because it bothered you, because you feel the same way. That's probably why. I think you don't believe your own rhetoric. You don't believe that everybody looks good at every size and all that crap. Like, you don't believe it. And I'll never forget when I saw how your boyfriend was and he was totally thin and everything. I mean, let's be real. I laughed. I did. But it's like, you care about it. You care about it. You're not fooling anyone.
standing in front of my camera to remind myself and also to remind you that recovery is a good thing.
Okay.
Some miserable
Okay.
loser behind a keyboard shouldn't get to take that away from you.
Okay. I mean, this isn't coming across that well, but whatever. I don't even know if you care, so whatever.
So try your best not to let them. And I'll do the same.
Did any of you guys get inspired by that? Because that was weird. Anyways, you guys, that's enough of him. I've been trying to film this for a hot ass minute. My brain cell's fried. I'm just going to put it up, I guess, and hopefully you guys don't all hate me tomorrow. I don't know why I'm insecure tonight. I have my moments. Gosh, I have a tickle in my throat. It's late. I've been doing great on my deficit. I'm just going to end it that way just to really piss him off if he ever watched this. I'm doing really well on my deficit. I've been very strict the past few days, which is good. Like my hunger is normalizing. I feel like I'm nearing the end of my plateau. And I feel like I've fully adjusted to going back to the gym. I feel pretty good. I'll keep you guys posted probably in a future health update, probably in a bit, because I want to make sure that this is where I'm trending. But I feel pretty good, honestly. So I'll get back to you guys about that later. I get to go to the gym tomorrow. But I'll talk to you guys soon. Have a good rest of your day, night, whatever. Peace.